School of Biomedicine and Cancer Research. And as we pay a special tribute to Sana and Vlad Shmunis for the generous donation that made all of this possible. Welcome and thank you. My name is Tal Pupko and I'm the head of the new Shmunis School. First, Vlad and Sana. I would like to express my gratitude for your generous donation. Even more than that, for your caring, commitment, and involvement. The Shmunis School of Biomedicine and Cancer Research is already a leading school at Tel Aviv University. This donation will push us forward and should have a great impact on biomedical progress in general and cancer research in particular. Next, let me briefly present my vision for the Shmunis School. When we talk about the future, it's natural to start with the research students, the next generation of scientists. The donation will help us become much more competitive in winning the most outstanding students. We will do so by offering increased Shmunis scholarships for excellent students. To get to these students, we must have better PR. We will place PR very high on our agenda. To this end, we will strive to increase our international visibility and interaction with foreign researchers and universities. This donation will enable hosting Shmunis visiting scholars, holding Shmunis International Cancer Conferences, and promoting collaborations between researchers at our school with international institutions such as Stanford. We will establish a multi-omics initiative which will enable students and researchers access to expensive emerging technologies, directly opening new paths to success. We will recruit the brightest new faculty members to the school. Finally, thanks to your generous gift, we expect to move the needle and become a leading Israeli and global force in cancer and biomedicine research. Once again, thank you so much. Please play the video.
I'm Professor Adit Ben-Baruch, and I'm here to represent a large group of researchers who study in this school aspects that are concerned with cancer research, with the idea of bringing basic aspects, the mechanisms, into clinical implications that will improve the lives and quality of lives of patients who experience cancer diseases. At each point of our research, what we see in front of us are the patients that suffer from very devastating disease that eventually deserve to have improved therapeutics and deserve to have the benefits of research that looks at the most powerful therapy method that we now have, which is activation of the immune system. The donation by the Shmunis family is very important to our studies. The fact that there is a donation that allows us to very much improve our research and trust that we will move the needle in the field so that patients will really be able to benefit from our research. This is a dream come true.
I invite Mr. Izhar Shai, Minister of Science and Technology.
Thank you. Professor Ariel Porat, President of the University, Professor Yaron Oz, Rector of the University, Professor Dan Ter, is Dan here? Hard to see you through the mask, but Vice President for Research and Development, Tel Aviv University Board of Governors, supporters and friends of the Tel Aviv University from all over the world who are joining us today. I just saw the numbers. This is pretty impressive. You have close to 100 people watching us here. So for those of you who are not here, it's like feeling alone in a big hall. But you know, this is how we handle things during the Corona pandemic period. And I'm actually very happy to have been invited to this special ceremony. So first of all, thank you very much, Sana and Vlad Shmunis, for your significant contribution to the biomedical school and for the research of cancer here in the Tel Aviv University. Your contribution, your donation to the Shmunis School of Biomedicine and Cancer Research is a crucial building block for continuation of the advancement of research here in Israel and for the further positioning of the Tel Aviv University as a leading academic institute, not only here in Israel, but also worldwide. The Ministry of Science and Education is in charge of, amongst other things, in charge of building the framework for the Israeli government as to putting its strategic plans for the development of science and research and technologies for the state of Israel. This is an important work that we are handling in the office amongst other duties, but this one is especially important as it relates to the connection between the government and the academy. For this purpose, the office places efforts in terms of identifying the latest and greatest in research, in technology, in science, and then providing recommendations to the Israeli government as to where the government should place its efforts and resources, so to position Israel time and time again as a leading international force in science and technology. For that specific task of the office, I am very proud and happy about this connection, Professor Porat, about our connection, about our partnership. This is a very nice example of a partnership between the academy and the government, where both sides understand the importance of science and technology to the further strengthening of the state of Israel, the further positioning of Israel as an international leading force in science, in research and technology. I've just spent time, not enough time, promise to come back again, but a very nice quality time with some of the top senior management research leaders of the university. And I found yet again that there is a very good reason to be proud about this partnership and about what is going on here in the university, in the various schools that this campus holds, in all areas of science, technology, and social studies as well. This is a leading institute which will continue to lead the way both for Israel and the Israeli government, but also for hopefully many other institutions and people who are related to Israel around the world. So I congratulate you, Professor Porat, President of the university, for continuing to lead the university to advance into new fronts, new breakthrough research, and all the good new things that I've just heard during our previous session over here. I believe that we will continue to work together as the government of Israel is very interested and very anxious to understand what should be the next steps, what should be the next areas for exploration for Israel as a nation and for the Israeli government to focus on. And I know that our partnership will be very useful in leading the government into the right decisions in various areas. And we discuss here space as an area of exploration. We discussed quantum computing and AI and medicine, and obviously, again, cancer research, biomedicine, all those good, important areas of research for the university. So thank you very much for this invitation to speak here today. Thank you very much again, Sana and Vlad Shmunis. Your donation is a very significant contribution to the positioning of this university and the state of Israel in our strategic purposes to continue to enhance the strength and the capability of Israel to continue to lead the world in the fronts of science and technology. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Minister Shai. I invite the President of Tel Aviv University, Professor Ariel Porat.
Minister Yizhar Shai, the Rector Yaron Oz, Vice President Yoav Ennis, and the incoming Vice President Dani Pe'er, Vice President Amos Elad, Dean Abed Azem, Vice Dean Keren Avraham. I hope I haven't missed anybody. And of course, the head of the school, the Shmunis, the new Shmunis school, Tal Popko. I wish we could have been here with more people, but you know, many people wanted to come, so it's a privilege to be here. It's not like in regular days that you hesitate whether to come or not. It's a privilege to be here, and you are the people that the chosen ones, right, to participate in this event. And of course, dear Shmunis family, my very dear friends, Sana and Vlad, dear governors of Tel Aviv University, dear friends, dear colleagues. This is a great day at Tel Aviv University. It's in fact a holiday, kind of a holiday here now. And the reason is the inauguration of the Shmunis School for Biomedicine and Cancer Research. And let me explain why it's a holiday. Well, as you know, a major part of the research done at the Shmunis School is about cancer research or cancer-related research. And you cannot overstate the significance of research in cancer. Maybe you know, but about 40% of people die from cancer, 40%. 50% of the people suffer from cancer. There is no any disease which is so injurious to humanity as cancer. So if someone has to invest in research, you cannot imagine a better investment than investment in cancer research. I know that you, Vlad and Sana, you have relatives which were very dear to you who died from cancer. I know that this is at least part of your motivation to donate money to a school which cancer research is in its center. And this is a kind of a way to honor your beloved ones who died from this terrible disease. Now, but as you know, the Shmunis School is not just about cancer research. There is other research done at the Shmunis School. I wish I had more time to go into the details and tell you about the terrific research done by the finest researchers at the university who are part of the Shmunis School. So I don't have the time for that. But let me say just a few words about the contribution of the Shmunis School to the combating the COVID-19 pandemic. So there are several laboratories at the Shmunis School who took a very important and active part in research around the coronavirus. So in one laboratory, the one of Adit, this laboratory, they found out that something which is quite exceptional. They found out that the 5% of the people who are suffering from corona, those are the people who infected 80% of the people. So these are the super spreaders. Now this is a very important discovery, right? Actually, it got a lot of exposure there was a very leading article at the New York Times about it, and it became very famous in recent months. So once we would be able to identify who are those people who are the super spreaders and identify them actually in advance, that might be a very interesting and effective way to combat pandemics, right? Isolate those 5%, and 80% of the people that currently suffer from the disease will not suffer from the disease anymore, right? So this is a very important achievement. This is one example. Another example is the laboratory of Johnny Gershoni. So at that laboratory, again, laboratory at the Shmunis school, they have made a major progress in finding vaccine for the pandemic. Now, of course, there are many other laboratories in the world working on the vaccine, not only at Tel Aviv University, but I could say that in Tel Aviv University, I think actually, in fact, in Israel, the laboratory of Johnny Gershoni have made a progress which is incomparable to any other progress done in other laboratories in Israel. In fact, just a couple of months ago, we also registered a patent to his achievement in making this important progress. And last example, and there are many others, last example is a collaboration between actually 3 laboratories at the Shmunis school. One is Marcelo Ehrlich and Irit Gat, and of course, Eran Bachrach. So they together have made very important progress in understanding what they call the immune response in infected lungs, affected by the coronavirus, and the way in which they understood it might in the future be also a discovery that might contribute to developing a vaccine. Interestingly, it might also be instrumental in better understanding immune responses in cancerous tumors, which shows again that almost everything somehow is related or connected to cancer. Right? So as I said before, cancer is a major topic for the Shmuni school, but not only cancer, but as you see, even something which seems not to be cancer eventually has some relationship with cancer research. I want to thank 2 very dear friends of Tel Aviv University, Anita Friedman and Caroline Sternberg, right? Both of them were friends of Tel Aviv University who introduced Tel Aviv University to the Shmunis family. So thank you very much for bringing to Tel Aviv University such dear friends, dear generous friends. Last, let me end with kind of a personal note. So I've met Sana and Vlad about a year ago. They came to Tel Aviv and we had a wonderful lunch together on the beach. And for me, at least, it was a love in first sight. I am not sure that for you it was the same, but I liked you very much from the very first minute. And we spent some time together. Later, I, together with Amos Elad, traveled to San Francisco. You were terrific hosts for us, and the friendship between you, Tel Aviv University, and with me personally, and also with my wife, became much more than kind of a professional relationship. I think that maybe the climax of our visit to San Francisco was when you, Vlad and Sana, took me and Amos to watch an NBA game. I've never been before in an NBA game, and I thought that I would be bored. Well, it was just fantastic. It was the Golden States. Well, for those people who understand something, I'm not, but for those who understand something about NBA games, these are the Warriors. And it was a fantastic game. Vlad was generous enough to let me sit in his reserved seat. Well, I wouldn't tell you the details, but it wasn't such a bad seat, right? You could see very well from that place what was going on there. Unfortunately, the Golden States actually lost, were defeated. And this was quite terrible for Vlad and for me, because I also liked them very much during the game. The reason was that one of their stars was injured before, so that was the only reason. So it was not their fault, just their star was injured before. So I think that we should have a deal, Vlad and Sana, that next time when I come to San Francisco, we go again to watch the game of the Warriors. And after their victory, we should raise a toast for both the victory of the Warriors, but also for the inauguration of the Shmunis school. Thank you very much. was a pleasure to do business with you, if you can call it business. Now, let me, there, you are not, so the only way to do it is just to read for you what is written here, and then I'll show you whatever you can see from there. So, this is to witness that on the 12th day of August 2020, the Shmunis School of Biomedicine and Cancer Research was inaugurated by Vlad and Sana Shmunis, governors of Tel Aviv University, thereby substantially augmenting state-of-the-art biomedical research aimed at preventing suffering and saving lives, supporting a devoted community of senior scientists specializing in cancer and other diseases, inspiring the development of novel drugs, therapies, and diagnostic technologies, increasing the school's scientific quality and productivity, and thereby also its international reputation and competitive edge, providing talented young scientists resources to make their own unique contribution to the field, and reinforcing the deep-seated commitment to the Shmunis family for basic science and higher education. Professor Yaron was rector and myself. So, from here, so this is just that the was in other field, and they established 2 years ago an institute, the Shmunis Institute for Anthropology. This is now a really very major gift that we are very grateful for you. It would really make a change in the in cancer research and other areas which are under the auspice of the Shmunis School. Finally, a surprise for you, Vlad and Sana. For people to see them, but I imagine here I can see Vlad my face, also your face, Sana. So we are going to. I want to introduce you to Professor Aaron Chekhanuver. You will see in a minute. He would forward his blessings to you and also to the Shmunis School. Who is Aaron Chekhanuver? I can tell you that here in Israel, you don't have to introduce him. So Aaron Chekhanuver is in the area of biohistory, but most importantly, he is a Nobel laureate in chemistry of 2004. This is very impressive, right? Unfortunately, he's from the Technion. No, nobody is perfect, but still we are very proud of him as being an Israeli. So Professor Chekhanuver, once somebody wants the Nobel Prize, you don't even need to mention other achievements, because everything is in the shadow of the Nobel Prize. So you wouldn't say that he also won the Israel Prize. You wouldn't say that he also won the Met Prize. You wouldn't say that he's also a member of the Israeli Academy of Sciences, because this is nothing compared to all those So, of course, needless to say that he was won all the others and many others. So it's a privilege for us to hold him, not physically, but remotely. He would like to say a few words to you. Thank you very much, and Professor Chekhanuver.
Please play the videos.
Yes. I would like to congratulate Tel Aviv University for the foundation and now opening of the new School of Biomedicine and Cancer Research. And in particular, I would like to congratulate Vlad and Sana Shmunis for donating the funds that were essential and necessary for the university to build this school. Philanthropy should not be taken for granted these days, and therefore the gift that the university was given by the Shmunis family is truly highly appreciated. You know, I'm not belonging to Tel Aviv University. I am on the Technion in Haifa. So all I can say is that I'm jealous and envy them. But the reason that I wanted to congratulate the university and the family for this is because cancer and biology cross all borders. There is no university line, or gender line, or language line, or culture line. Cancer knows no border. Actually, cancer has not taken sabbatical during the pandemic. It still hits, and hardly so, during these days all over the world. And so are other diseases like brain diseases. And it's multinational and multi-personal and multidisciplinary effort in order to defeat these diseases. And therefore, the building of this school is just appropriate at that time. I think that the advantage of the school is the lesson that we all learned from the fact that cancer will not be defeated by physicians alone, cancer will not be defeated by biologists alone, not by computer sciences. It will be defeated by an interdisciplinary effort of physicists, electric engineering, computer scientists, biologists, physicians, and unfortunately also the patients. We need the patients in order to try our different drugs and modalities in order to learn whether they are successful. So Tel Aviv University is really into a big step now, building this school, and I wish them all the best, and thanks again for the family for taking the initiative for this very important step.
אחד, שתיים, שלוש. Well, this is I think it's a great day. It's a great day for the Faculty of Life Sciences. It's a great day for Tel Aviv University. And I would say it's also a great day for the State of Israel. Thank you.
We are celebrating the donation for the best school in our faculty, to my opinion, and we are glad for that. Good luck for the school, and we thank the Shmunis family for that.
Invite Vlad and Sana and Vlad Shmunis.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Vlad and Sana here. We were just blown away by the opening ceremony, and even though we're not in person and all together, it's extremely meaningful and a proud moment in our lives. And I would like to let my husband speak because he's a much better speaker, but here he goes.
Okay, well, thank you, Sana, and thank you everyone for attending our opening ceremony today. Let me start with a few words about ourselves. Sana and I came to the US as young teenagers. We each had $100 per family member, which was all that was allowed to be taken out of the Soviet Union at that time. Fortunately, it was not that much of a hardship, as neither one of our families accumulated much more than that in their several generations of life in Russia. But what we did have were beginnings of a good education and support of our local communities in San Francisco and Los Angeles. Building on that and a bit of hard work and a lot of luck over the years is what brings us here. In looking for ways to direct our philanthropic efforts, we agreed on 3 guiding principles. In order: 1, helping out with causes that would have universal appeal for people around the globe. 2, helping advance scientific endeavors by the State of Israel. And 3, we wanted to choose a cause that would have particular meaning to our family. On that last note, both of my parents and Sana's mother have succumbed to cancer too early in their lives. Cancer is a disease that knows no boundaries, and too many people around the globe are affected every day. In supporting biomedicine and cancer research at Tel Aviv University, we firmly believe that we have found an ideal partner to move the needle on curing cancer and other terrible diseases. And as an extra bonus, we were lucky to form lifelong friendships with the team that got us here. Let me start by thanking Dr. Anita Friedman for introducing us to the state of Israel 15 years ago, and for being such a great leader overall. We simply would not be here on very many counts without Anita and her team. Thank you, Amos Elad, President Ariel Porat, and Professors Danny Pierre and Tal Popko for working so patiently and diligently with us in coming up with school charter and its future direction. And this is not to mention all the fun and wine we shared along the way. Special thanks to Danny Pierre on that last note. And very special thanks to Minister Shai for his attendance and support of our efforts. We look forward to a truly great partnership for years to come. And I would like to also recognize our good friends, Professors Israel Finkelstein and Israel Hershkovitz, who were instrumental in building our deep bond with Tel Aviv University through our mutual fascination and love of biblical archaeology and physical anthropology. Look, we cannot wait to visit our new school and meet everyone in person. And perhaps some of the wonderful researchers at our new Shmunis School of Biomedicine and Cancer Research who are working on epidemics, vaccines, and treatments to the pandemic will help make this possible in not too distant a future. With that, thank you all again for your attendance and support, and let me turn the call over to the next speaker. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Please play the video.
My name is Adit and I've started a lab about 6 years ago. And I study the evolution and genomics of viruses. And so ever since my PhD studies, I've been really fascinated by viruses and how they evolve and how they change, and in particular, how they cause diseases. Currently, a lot of our research has been focused on COVID-19, and we've been trying to track how the virus spread in Israel. We look at the genome of the virus, the genetic material of the virus, how it changes, and learn from it really about the different modes of spread of the virus, how it really spread so quickly in Israel. So the contribution of the donors to the school has really already made a huge impact on our research. The donations of equipment have really speeded up our ability to study the virus. When you have an outbreak like COVID-19, really professional equipment can fast forward the pace of our research. I think the dream of almost every scientist is eventually to make an impact on the real world, finding a solution to something. Sometimes it's really small. Sometimes, it's something that, it's been puzzling us for like a few months and we can't figure it out. And suddenly that realization that, oh, we got it, we understand. I think that's for me what makes it. It's the little things. I think it's a wonderful feeling, first of all, to be recognized as a school for its excellence, to be part of the school, which I really think is an amazing school, which covers these so many different research topics, and we're at the forefront, I think, of molecular biology and biomedicine today. I'm constantly proud to be part of this school.
Thank you all for joining us today in saluting the Shmunis family. We thank you again for your vision and generosity and we wish you and your family all the very best. Thanks.